Hello everyone, welcome back to another reading vlog, and as you can tell from the title of this video, today I'm going to be reading Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. And also, can we talk about how pretty the hardcovers are? I am so grateful that I can afford to buy hardcovers. I have hardcovers of all the three books, and obviously I had to save up for it for 2 months. I have read the first two books. I've read Fourth Wing and I've read Iron Flame. I got the third book recently, Onyx Storm. I read a first few pages and I thought I don't remember anything from the first two books. So I'm like, why not just do a reading vlog of the first two books and then read the third book simultaneously? But I don't know anything that happens in the third book. I know people are crying over it. That's all I know. I'm so excited to read Fourth Wing again. I remember giving this book 4.5 stars, but I gave Iron Flame 5 stars. I know Fourth Wing is everyone's favorite. Everybody liked this book better than the Iron Flame, but then for me, I don't know why I rated Iron Flame 5 stars, because I don't remember anything. Without the outer covering, this book just looks like a spell book, like a witchcraft spell book. I just read the first line and I'm already feeling so nostalgic. It goes like, a dragon without its rider is a tragedy. A rider without their dragon is dead. I think it's been almost like a year or like 2 years that I read this book. It's been 2 years, I think, yeah, because I read this when it just came out because everybody kept talking about it on the internet and I just had to read it. So it's been 2 years and I'm super excited. I think you can already tell that I'm super excited, but like I am super excited. Also, I've realized recently that when I'm vlogging and reading, I relatively read much slower than when I'm actually just reading. I hope I just pick up the speed, like it increases as I'm getting used to this vlogging thing. But I really want my speed back. I want to be able to read faster. So basically, there are two kingdoms who are fighting and they're at war. I think it's called Navarre and Boromir. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. There's a lot of difficult pronunciation in this book, so bear with me. And there's this Basgiath War College that most of the people attend, that they train here so that they can fight in the war. And there are 4 groups in this college. So you can either be a scribe, infantry, a healer, or a rider. Violet has been preparing herself her entire life to become a scribe, and her dad was a scribe. From what I've read, I discovered that Violet's brother is dead, Violet's dad is dead. So Violet's sister Mira is alive, and Violet's mom, she's a general and she's very important. Mira is also a rider, but like she has already graduated college. Mira is like very anxious right now because Violet is very weak and frail. She's not ready to be a rider, so she's very concerned about how she is going to do this entire rider thing. So to reach the rider's quadrant, you have to pass this bridge and it's like 18 inches wide. You can only carry stuffs that you can carry while crossing the bridge. Mira is giving tips to Violet. She's like, don't talk to second year students or like third year students. You're not gonna have like a great time and everybody's going to try and kill you, especially if they get to know that you are General Sorrengail's daughter. And she goes like, I just remembered, her voice drops, and I lean in, my heart jumping at the urgency in her tone. Stay the hell away from Xaden to yourself. Also, Xaden is the wing leader of the Fourth Wing. Honestly, if I was in Basgiath College right now, I would want him to be my wing leader. I would want to be in that Fourth Wing group kind of thing. This is what happens when I read fantasy. I'm just like, what would I do if I was in that situation? If I was in the fantasy world, I think I would have the ability to survive. For sure. Because I think I'm like smart like that. Okay, so Violet and Xaden, they just met. The way Violet describes Xaden's looks is everything. Like everything. I can just imagine Xaden. Like he is fine. He's a fine looking gentleman. So basically, Xaden overhears Rhiannon and Violet talk. Rhiannon refers to Violet as Sorrengail, and Xaden is like, you're General Sorrengail's youngest. She is like, you are Fenriorson's son. To which Xaden replies with, your mother captured my father and oversaw his execution. And she goes like, your father killed my older brother, seems like we're even. And he's like, hardly. And then she asks him, are you going to kill me? He goes like, why would I waste my energy killing you when the parapet will do it for me? Okay, so Violet just crossed the parapet successfully without falling down. And also I have to say that I love the world building in the Fourth Wing. It's like one of my favorite worlds, to be honest. I just love the concept of the War College and how there are different wings, sections, squad, and they have like leaders for all of it. She just crossed the parapet, right? And she already has like so many people trying to kill her. I don't know how she's going to survive because she's very weak. So we are introduced to Dane. Dane is Violet's childhood best friend, and she has like a crush on him. But I don't like Dane. Aiden is here and Dane is here. We cannot compare them. He's very sweet in the beginning, but he does something and I remember what he does, and I don't like the something that he does. Basically, Dane just introduced himself to Rhiannon. Rhiannon is the friend that Violet just made while crossing the parapet. He was like, I'm Dane Hatos and I am the leader of second squad, flame section and second wing. And I think that is so cool. This is what I was talking about earlier, like the sections and the squads and whatever the groups that they've made is so cool. And each section has a name like flame, tail and claw. That is so cool. The idea itself is just so cool. So I get that Dane is worried about Violet and that's why he's insisting her to go back to the sky quadrant or whatever. But then it's actually annoying. Like he's told Violet she can't be a rider and then she does not have what it takes to be a rider like 100 times, and I don't want to hear about it. Violet just went like, one, I am well aware of what my chances are here, Dane, and two, usually 15% of the candidates don't make it past the parapet and I'm still standing, so I guess I'm beating those odds already. Yes, you go girl, you can do whatever you want. I don't like Dane at all. He's very annoying. Okay, so first years who were successful in crossing the parapet are getting assigned to their respective squad. So Dane is the leader of second squad, flame section and second wing. Yeah, and he's like, Violet, you're in my squad, mate. I'm going to take care of you. You're in my squad. Zayden talks to the leader of the second wing and he gets to exchange their entire squad. Second squad of the fourth wing moves to the second wing and the second squad of the second wing moves to the fourth wing because Violet is here and Zayden is the wing leader. Do you get it? Basically, the point is he exchanged the entire squad just because he wanted Violet in his wing. I mean, they're still enemies now, but then I approve. Zayden caught Dane and Violet talking to each other and he's like, I already knew your parents are tight, but do you two have to be so fucking obvious? And he continues with, let me guess, childhood friends? First loves even? He turns to Dane and he's like, I expect you to do a better job of hiding where your affections lie, Ado. And he just keeps moving. And Violet is like, oh my god, shit, he's going to kill me, and she starts running. So people who are reading this right now might think that, oh my god, Zayden is actually trying to kill Violet because of what Violet's mom did to Zayden's dad. But here I am thinking, oh my god, that is actually wrong. Zayden actually likes Violet and that's why he's jealous that, she's talking to Dane. And he obviously likes her. This is why I am extremely delusional in real life, because I read books like these. Also, I have to say that Violet is so smart. Her smartness is actually very impressive. And honestly, she reminds me of me. Yes, just kidding. I haven't read anything from Zayden's point of view, and I don't know much about Zayden yet because I'm reading from Violet's point of view and she just met Zayden. But then every time he says something, I am so intimidated. Like, I know he's a book character, but then if he was real, I don't think I would ever have the courage to go talk to him. The way he speaks, his posture, the way he looks, everything in my mind, if I imagine Zayden, he is very intimidating for me. So I'm at the part where Imogen breaks Violet's arm and she dislocates her shoulder. So Violet is back from the healer squadron and she finds like a note that Mira has written to her, along with the note that Violet's brother had written to Mira when she started her college. And the note is so cute. It says, Mira, you're a Sorengale, so you will survive. Perhaps not as spectacularly as I have, but we can't all live up to my standards, can we? All kidding aside, this is everything I've learned. Keep it safe, keep it hidden. You have to live, because Violet is watching. You can't let her see you fall. Brennan. That is so cute. I know I've told this 100 times, but I love reading about families, best friends, chosen family, actual family, I don't care. I love reading about siblings, friendships. It just is super cute. This is like one of the reasons why I like reading books. It makes me feel something. Violet is out in search of some herb that would help her poison the person she's going to fight in the sparring class that week. But then she finds Zayden and his rebellion gang members. They're talking about something. She doesn't know what they're talking about. Apparently, there's this law that no more than 3 people who have rebellion relics can be seen together, so that they're not conspiring against Navarian kingdom. And then Violet is like, I wonder what they're up to. Same thing, girl. I don't know what they're up to, but then I would like to know what they're up to. They're not planning anything that might be considered problematic like right now, but then with Xaden, you never know. Just when Violet is thinking that there's nothing wrong with whatever they're doing, they're just gathered together so that the older cadets can give counseling to the younger ones, like the first years. Immediately Imogen goes like, okay, when do we kill Violet Sorrengail? Everybody else is like, yeah, Xaden, when do we kill her? When do we get our revenge? And Xaden is like, I told you already, the youngest Sorrengail is mine and I will handle her when the time is right. I already told you, but Xaden, you never know. This is what I've been talking about. Is he actually going to kill her? I don't think so. But is he going to think that he's going to kill her? Obviously. Just when Violet thought nobody noticed her, Xaden didn't notice her that she was hiding behind a tree. A shadow lunges behind me and I open my mouth to scream, but my air supply is cut off by an elbow around my neck as I'm yanked against a hard chest. Scream and you die. Scream and you die. And then she goes like, let me guess, you could smell my perfume. Isn't that what always gives away the heroine in the books? And he goes like, I command shadows, but sure, it was your perfume that gave you away. Xaden is like, what, Atos hasn't warned you not to get caught alone and dark with me yet? Violet is like, is that how you plan to handle me? He's like, eavesdropping, were we? Xaden asked Violet, do you plan on telling anyone about my little club? They're not supposed to assemble and all that. And she promised him that she's not going to tell anyone about it. And he's like, interesting. We'll see if you keep your word. And if you do, then unfortunately, it looks like I owe you a favor. And she's so confused. And she's like, wait, what? You're not going to handle me? He's like, not tonight. It's no fun if you expect it. Now get back to your bed before your wing leader realizes you're out after curfew. He's like, what? You are my wing leader? Guys, I'm having so much fun. Mainly because I don't remember anything. So they have this fighting challenge thingy every week. Like the students are picked randomly and they're supposed to fight each other. Violet has been cheating the entire time. So this week she's supposed to fight this girl named Vema. Xaden is like, I'm happy to step in. Dane goes like, a little out of her league, don't you think? Xaden is like, relax, Atos. She'll be in one piece when I'm finished teaching her. You're telling me that Xaden knew that Violet was cheating her way through the fighting class thing and he just wanted her to get better? Because he says, problem is, if you aren't testing yourself here, then you're not going to get any better. See, I told you he's in love with her. The one thing that I don't understand is people here in this book are complaining how they have less people who can fight and there's this war going on for 400 years now and all that. But then people keep dying left and right here. I mean, if all the characters are dying, obviously you guys don't have enough people who can fight for you. Okay, so Violet is upset that one of her squad mates died during training and she's sitting somewhere near parapet and obviously Xaden knows that she's there. She's deciding whether she wants to be a rider or a scribe. Dane did tell her that he could get her into scribe squadron if she wanted. She asks Xaden, I just need to know what my chances are here. And he's like, that's the oddest way I've ever been hit on. And she's like, not my chances with you, you conceited prick. Again, if you don't find it funny, I'm sorry, but like their banter is so funny. I'm loving it so far. It's like the perfect amount of comedy, the perfect amount of seriousness. So I read up to page number 192 yesterday. I was filming, but then I got so involved in the book that I thought if I'm gonna stop and film every few seconds, then I'm just gonna lose the flow. So I thought I will just give you guys an update in the morning. And so this is the morning. We are done with the presentation and the threshing. Presentation is basically the riders, like the cadets, present themselves to the dragons so that they can evaluate if they want to bond with a certain cadet or not. Threshing is done. It's a process where the dragons actually bond with the rider. Just when we thought Violet was not going to bond with anyone, Taran enters the chat. Not just Taran, she also bonds with Andarna. So she's bonded with 2 dragons right now. So I have to mention the fact that the entire concept is just so cool. Like there are dragons and the dragons choose you. Dragons have their own headquarters. riders type of situation, which I find so cool, and it's called Empyrean. Taran is so sweet. He's like one of the most dangerous and powerful dragons to bond. Violet was already injured fighting Jack and she was not able to climb onto the dragon's seat. Taran basically extends his paws so that it's easier for her to climb. Also, she was not able to hold the seat properly. Like, she kept falling. If it was any other dragon, they would just let her fall because, you know, riders are supposed to be strong and all that. But like, Taran is so sweet. Xaden was supposed to kill Violet, but then he can't kill Violet now because Taran's mate is Sagail and she is Xaden's dragon. So if something happens to Violet, then Taran is going to die. And then if something happens to Taran, Sagail is going to die. And if Sagail is going to die, then Xaden is going to die. So Violet asked Taran why he chose her. He goes like, because you saved her. And she goes like, but dragons value strength and cunning and ferocity in their right. And he's like, please do tell me more about what I should value. Like, finally he answers by saying, you are the smartest of your year, the most cunning. You defended the smallest with ferocity, and strength of courage is more important than physical strength, since you apparently need to know before we land. Like, he's like the most dangerous dragon, but like, he's so sweet to Violet. Each rider can bond with only one dragon. So since like Violet has bonded with 2 dragons, all the dragons are holding a meeting at the Empyrean, and Taran goes like, stay close to the wing leader until we return. And she thinks surely he meant squad leader, and he's like, you heard what I said. So Dane basically accused Xaden of manipulating the threshing process. Since Taran bonded with Violet, he thinks Xaden told Sagail, who is Taran's mate, to choose Violet. Xaden is like, I didn't do it, but like, even if I had, wouldn't that make you happy because that's what saved your best friend? And he goes like, out of curiosity, would you have, let's say, bent those rules to save your precious little Violet in that field? And Dane just admits that he wouldn't have bent the rules and he wouldn't have done everything in his power to save Violet. And that breaks my heart because Violet considers Dane to be her best friend, and how can you not do everything in your power to save your best friend? Like, I don't get it. And this is exactly why I told you guys that I don't like Dane. He's selfish. He can be your friend, but he can't be your best friend. He doesn't have your back. I know that, and that's exactly why I don't like Dane. So I finished up to 300 pages yesterday. So I was at the part where there was a moment between Violet and Xaden, but like, Xaden goes back to pretending like nothing had ever happened, and he's been ignoring Violet. At the same time, Violet had this challenge with Zach and she destroyed him, but at the same time she's like severely injured, and Xaden is like, you know what, I'm not satisfied with the way Rhiannon or Liam is training you, so I'm going to train you from now on. You know what is cute? All of them flying together, like Xaden, Violet, Andarna, Taran, Sagail, everyone flying together. It's like one big happy family. And also Xaden witnessed an interaction between Violet and Violet's mom, and he goes like, I didn't know that things were like that with your mom. Violet's mom is harsh on Violet, and he actually seems sad about it, which is nice. As a part of the last challenge in the squad battle, they were asked to steal or simply find and acquire by any means necessary the one thing that would be most advantageous to our enemies regarding the war effort. The second squad flame section of 4th wing decides to break into Violet's mom's office. Absolute mayhem breaks out, some of the riders rushing the stage as professors battle their way towards us, but I ignore it all. Xaden tilts one corner of that beautiful mouth and tips an imaginary hat to me, bowing his head for a heartbeat before bringing his gaze back to hold mine. Satisfaction fills every ounce of my being as I smile up at him. It doesn't matter how the vote comes down, I've already won. That is in fact the cutest thing I've read today. Like, what do you mean he tips off an imaginary hat? Like, he approves. Okay, bye. Really, Xaden can be in Violet's head and talk to her without actually communicating, because Taran and Sagail are mates, which is cool, and I like it because it's cool. Taran and Sagail couldn't stay without each other for more than 3 days. Dane is like, 3 days? You couldn't make it 3 days? And Violet is like, that's up to Taran and Sagail. Xaden talks to Violet in her head, and he's like, you never considered that it was you I couldn't stay away from? I know he's being sarcastic, but like, Violet asked Zayden where he got his silver scars from, and you can already tell that Zayden is uncomfortable and he doesn't want to share that piece of information with Violet yet. Taryn is like, are you pushing for a reason? She's like, can you give me one not to? And he's like, he cares for you. That's already hard enough for him. And Violet scoffs and she's like, he cares about keeping me alive. There's a difference. Taryn is like, not for him. There isn't. Two things. Violet is a lightning wielder. She just killed Jack. So Violet is upset that she killed a man today. And Zayden is like, you wanted a quiet life full of books and facts. You wanted to record the battles, not be in them. There is nothing wrong with you. You get to be angry that you killed a man today. You get to be angry that a man tried to kill your friend. You get to feel however you want within these walls, but not outside them. We're riders, so do whatever you need to get it out. You want to yell, yell at me. You want to hit something, hit me. I can take it. He is perfect. I have so much to talk about. So like, we clearly know now that Violet is in love. And Zayden is all like, we don't have a future. Like, your mom killed my dad and all that messy stuff. So Violet goes like, but here's the thing, you don't get to dictate how I feel. You might give the orders out there, but not in here. You can only respect what I choose to do. So we're not doing this again until I want to risk my heart. And if I fall, then that's my problem, not yours. You're not responsible for my choices. Zayden is obviously like, you'll just forget about whatever happened, and I'm going to be graduating soon. You won't even remember this and all that crap, which I don't believe in because I know that he's in love with her. It's basically Brennan and Fenriorson's death anniversary. Zayden is obviously upset about his father's death. Violet has also lost her brother. Zayden is sitting in between the parapet. It's safe for him because he yields shadows, but then Violet is in a skirt and she risks her life just to make sure that he's okay. And there's this one scene where like she finds Garrick and Bodhi before she meets Zayden, and she's like, where is he? Both Garrick and Bodhi, they're like, we are his best friends and we're still here. It's not the right time to meet him or something like that. And she's like, yeah, well, I'm his. And then she's like, yeah, I'm just his. And then she goes to make sure that Zayden is okay. It's literally the cutest thing I've read. And I think I keep saying that to everything that I read. And also there's this part where Violet actually acknowledges that she is in love with Zayden. All this while it was me who was telling that, Violet is in love with Zayden. Here is the part where she actually like says it out loud. And I was like, I already knew it. Again, Zayden is like, we don't have a future. And he's like whining about it. And Violet is like, you want me, Zayden Rierson. You might not say it, but you do one better and show it. You show it every time you choose to trust me. Every time your eyes lingers on me, you show it with every sparring lessons you don't have time for, every flight lessons that pulls you away from your own studies. You show it when you refuse to touch me because you're worried I don't really want you. Then show it again when you take the time to hunt down Violets before a leadership meeting so I don't wake up feeling alone. You show it in a million different ways. Please don't deny it. And she continues with, you think we don't have a future because you're scared that I won't like who you really are behind all those walls you keep, and I'm scared too. I can admit it. You're graduating, I'm not. You will be gone in a matter of weeks, and we're probably setting ourselves for a heartbreak. But if we let fear kill whatever this is between us, then we don't deserve it. I told you that I was the one who would decide when I'm ready to risk my heart, and I'm saying it. Zayden is not like words of affirmations guy, but he's more of a acts of service guy, and I love acts of service book boyfriends. They just do something to me. Violet is jealous and she thinks that Imogen has a thing for Zayden, and she's complaining about how Imogen keeps staring at Zayden when Zayden and Garrick they're sparring. Zayden is like, just take me out of the equation and think again. And Violet is like, oh, she likes Garrick and not you. I also forgot to mention about Zayden's scars. He had 107 scars on his back, and it represents 107 rebellion kids that exist. So like one scar for each of them, so that they have a chance to fight for their survival at the war college. Otherwise they would have been executed with their parents. They cannot betray the kingdom of Navarre, or Zayden is going to die. That is so sad. I love a good protagonist with a good backstory, but then this is just so sad. No wonder he's so closed off. I can just feel that he's such a good person from within. He might act all bossy, but inside he's a softie. He cares about people and he loves the people around him. So the war games have begun. Dane and Zayden are arguing if Violet is going to go with Dane or Zayden. Violet is like, stop. I put my hand on Zayden's arm. Zayden, stop. If you want me to go with you, I will go. It's that simple. Oh my god, Violet just found out that Xaden has been helping Griffin riders. The same Griffin riders, they have been at war for 400 years. Violet is freaking out. Violet just discovered that Venons actually exist and they're just not a part of a folklore. Xaden knew this piece of information all this while and didn't care to share it with Violet. And it's convenient that he would share it with her now because they ran into a Griffin flyer and he had to tell her. Violet is upset because she chose to put her trust in him and she chose him over her best friend who was trying to warn her about Xaden's intentions. And I know Xaden is just trying to help the flyers out, and I get why Violet is upset so much because Xaden should have just told her about this earlier. Above all that, she feels betrayed because Andarna and Tarwin knew about this and they did not mention it. I understand Sagael is your mate or whatever, but like, how can you not tell your rider, bro? How is she taking all this in? I don't understand. Like, okay, fine, Xaden betrayed her. Okay, fine. Her own dragons? Who's she supposed to trust? I feel so sorry for Violet right now. Dane. I hate him. I hate him. He violated Violet. Now he knows about the trips and he informed it to the leadership, and now they have been sent to this place to die because nobody's supposed to know that Venom exists, and these people know that Venom exists and there's going to be a Venom attack, and all of them are expecting this squad to die. Dane! I hate him. Xaden's been given a choice of going back to the place that they've mentioned and participate in the war games, or he can stay here and die. I guess they're fighting now. And I know what happens now. I know that Liam dies. Then I have to go through that pain again. Violet just asked Andana to fly back home to the Vale because she knows they're all gonna die. And she's like, you'll feel the moment when you'll know that there's nothing to leave. And it might break your heart, but when you feel it, you fly. Promise me you'll fly. Liam's dragon dies. So that means Liam's going to die. And I've read this scene once, but then doesn't make it less sad. Liam is like, and I know you feel betrayed, but Xaden needs you, and I don't just mean alive, Violet. He needs you. Please hear him out. And then he goes, it's been my honor, and then he dies. Like, that's it? Like, that's it? Like, he dies? Like, what do you mean he dies? Like, oh my god, this is too much. I can't. So Violet managed to kill the Venom. She's burnt out and she like falls off from Taran's back. And even though Antana is not strong enough to carry her, she stops the time. She barges in and tries to hold Violet when she's like falling off from hundreds and thousands of feet. Xaden is like, you have to fight. You can hate me all you want when you wake up. You can scream, hit, throw your fucking daggers at me for all I care, but you have to live. You can't make me fall for you and then die. Violet wasn't healed, she was mended, and Brennan is alive. Okay, so I have finished reading Fourth Ring by Rebecca Yarros, and here's my final thought. The first time when I read this book, I gave it 4.5 stars, but then I would like to raise my rating and give it 4.75 or like almost 4.8 stars, to be honest. When I reread it, it was just better for me. The reason for you guys to read this book, if you haven't read it already, is that it is a romantasy novel with dragons and tons of magic in it. It has tropes such as forbidden love, enemies to lovers, found family. The main character, Xaden Ryerson, is another reason why you have to read this book because he wields shadows and he has tattoos. Also, another reason for you guys to read this book is Violet Sorrengail, for sure. She is such a female badass character. It's like the perfect amount of balance between being ruthless and being compassionate. There's love, there's destruction, there's pain. You feel a lot of things when you read this book. The ending, oh my god. And I honestly didn't expect myself to cry again because I thought, oh, I knew what's gonna happen, so I'm not gonna, cry as much as I did the first time around. But then it destroyed me. Go read it right now. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video.